Hi y'all, Jenny Shaw from Barefoot Abbey here, bringing you this special edition of Singing with the Saints. Today, I wanted to dive in a little bit more to the history of solfege and why we should, as parents, spend time teaching that to our children. For us, it is a tie back to our Catholic faith and history. The person who created the system of solfege or solemnization is actually a medieval Benedictine monk, Guido D'Arezzo, and there's a sweet little picture book I can link to in the comments if you'd like to learn more about him. But he is also credited with the modern music notation that we use, using a staff to mark the notes instead of just the older neum system that was in place for chant at the time. So we owe a lot to him as modern musicians, and it's good to keep him in mind for history's sake. And another reason that we should spend time doing the solfege is that music is a language of God. Like math, it is unchangeable. It is one of his languages, the way that he speaks to us. And using the solfege syllables, that really gives us another tool to help ingrain those ratios and the patterns that music is, those unchanging patterns, and help our children to see those. If you're, tuning an orchestra, things like that, for a performance, oftentimes they use the note that is referred to as A4. That's the A that's above middle C. And that has a frequency. All notes have a frequency. That one is 440 hertz. So it's never going to change. It's always going to be A. And, if it's not that frequency, it's not an A. It's A sharp, or it's A flat, or it's a D, So that's a great thing to help illustrate to children the unchanging power of God. So that's one reason. Another reason, if you're a Charlotte Mason homeschooler or educator, that is a program that she also had in her schools. It's something she encouraged her students to learn. So that's another way and reason for us to study that. The last way, and one that I use a lot for determining what we're going to study, is, it's another way to instill the hymn and bring it back to Christ. So you've got, you can choose whatever you want to teach handwriting. You can choose whatever you want to teach math. But why not use something that's going to point back to the Creator? So that's another way, using the solfege and just giving them another way to instill that into their brains, and using not only, them hearing themselves sing, so they've got the aural, but also, they're using their verbal skills as well. And then when you add the solfege, the symbols and the signs, they're also using their, the tangible skills, the kinetic way of learning. So there's a lot that you can do there, and to help, just get that written on their hearts and instilled in a way that they're going to remember. Okay, so there's a few reasons why we spend time learning solfege. There are many levels that you can get to with that, to where you're doing ear training and sight singing and things like that. This is going to be the most basic level, and that's just going to be following along for now. The next level up that I'm probably going to be recording as well, as a tool for you to use, is the call and response method, and we do that too. It's not that much more difficult. It just calls on them to, once they've heard it once they've heard a line, that they then repeat it back while hearing the tune, but not the syllables. So they can follow along with the signs still, and they can hear the tune, but they're called to say the syllables by themselves without prompt. So those are the two levels we're going to be focusing on here. There's a lot you can do with it. And then, of course, the final level would be when you just get a new hymn and you are able to recall to yourself the tune without hearing a note. And that's just, sight singing with the solfege. And the solfege, you're basically transposing it to, from the syllables that you have in your brain to the notes of the hymn itself. And then, that's basically going and, the final level, and you've ingrained it into yourself, and now are using that skill. It's not just practice anymore. It's actually a useful skill. So I hope that helps you and encourages you to start in this practice. And if you have any questions or would like, more history or anything like that on Guido, our friend, I'd be happy to do so. So just send me a note in the comments, and I'll be happy to address that. So thanks for joining us, and keep making a joyful noise.